Welcome to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Kayleigh Gilbert on Power Talk 1360 KFIV, the show that talks to small business owners about the best ways to practice business in our current day. I'm here with Kayleigh Gilbert. She is the owner of Legally Blonde Marketing. Kayleigh, how are you today?
I'm good, Justin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. So, how long have you been in business for, and what do you do for your customers?
So, I have been in business now for about 3 months, but I've been doing marketing for about a year now for an insurance brokerage, and then, I ran my city council campaign, and pretty much I help small businesses get on social media, and then I run their accounts. So if you are a small business and you have no idea how to work Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, I'm your gal.
How important is social media to a small business?
Since the times are changing in my generation, mostly does everything from their cell phone. Social media now is critical for a business to have. If you don't have social media as a business, you're missing a very large audience.
And how do you get traffic to your social media accounts? Or is that a secret? We can't talk about that.
You can schedule an appointment with me and we could talk about it. But
right.
I have my ways. I can get you from getting 55 views to 900 views. And that's just from the first post that I made for one client.
Oh, nice. Well, that's good because that's what we want. Is we want people to see who we are and what we're about. And
Power Talk, Small Business Voice, social media too, the Instagram. So if any of our listeners want to check out our Instagram or our Facebook, the videos there and the post are all made by me. Justin is just my beautiful model.
Well, thank you, Kayleigh. So I am Justin Duncan. I am also a Legal Shield representative, going into businesses and helping out with group benefits. I help businesses protect themselves and their employees. Can be part of Legal Shield, having that service. And I always like to say the three things that are certain are death, taxes, and lawyers. All the rich people have lawyers. It's not really made for the average person. Legal Shield steps in, makes it affordable, and I am really happy to be a part of Legal Shield, and I'm really happy when I can help a business protect themselves legally. So if you'd like to get in touch with myself or Kayleigh, go to smallbusinessvoicemedia@gmail.com. You can email us there, or you can call me directly, 209-896-6500. So, Kayleigh, you want to talk about service clubs today and how it benefits your business, correct?
Yes, I feel like that's a great way to get out and network and then also help your community.
And you're in Seroptimus?
Yes, I am in Seroptimus. That is the service club that I chose. And it is a women's service club, but there are also men-only service clubs, but you just have to choose the club that fits right for you. And not all service clubs are just male-only or woman-only.
So you're listening to Justin Duncan and Kayleigh Gilbert on the Small Business Voice on Power Talk 1360 KFIV, and we are talking about service clubs and how they could benefit your business. I think I would like a co-ed club. I like it when everybody kind of works together. I mean, maybe that's just I'm old-fashioned that way, but I do like it when men and women work together. I'm not really a big fan of the men-only club or women-only clubs.
It's funny because you're saying old-fashioned, and I feel like old-fashioned would be a man your age saying, I only want to be in a man's-only club. And then I'm like, you're saying old-fashioned, and I'm like way more hip than you in certain ways, and I'm in a woman's only club.
Well, I think it's important, though, because we all want to work together, and I never understood because it seems like you're alienating other people when you're in the only club.
I feel so. For Seroptimus, for me, I wanted to make women friends, so that's why I joined. And Seroptimus is very... When you go to these service clubs, you're going to definitely see that each of them have their own different, atmosphere and vibe. And Seroptimus is a bunch of women, and we're all working together to get things done for our community. Seroptimus is very active in Oakdale, but then also, like, at the Seroptimus conference this last weekend, they put tissues on the tables because we tend to cry at some of the things that we're donating for. So,
well, that's sweet.
Yeah, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah. Well, I like I said, I just like when people come together and work together. And the thing is, we're all small business owners. We all have the same goal. And I think it's just better if we work together to accomplish that. That's just my opinion.
Yes, and you should join a service club. That is for sure. I'm trying to get you to join Rotary, Justin.
So there is Rotary, there's Seroptimus. What other service clubs do we have?
So in Oakdale, there's Rotary, there's Seroptimus, there's the Lions Club. I think CVAR is a service club as well now.
Yeah,
these are
for the realtors and lenders.
These are non-profit. At least the CVAR in our Oakdale is raising all the funds right now to build a dog park.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I want to say those are the major ones. And I'm so sorry if you're listening and I've totally forgotten your service club. Oh, there's the Seroptimus, and then there's the Women's Club as well.
Okay. And then you meet over at the golf course, right?
Yeah. I think all of the clubs meet at the golf course at this point. And maybe Lions Club doesn't, but I'm almost pretty sure they do.
Yeah.
But if you are interested, and Modesto has all of these same clubs as well. But if you're interested, you can always DM Justin and I can give you the contacts too. If you want to join a club in Oakdale, or if you want to join a club in Modesto, we could get you in connection with the right person. Because at the end of the day, when you choose your club, you're going to be going out in your community and volunteering your time. And most of these people that are in these clubs are also business professionals as well, who are just wanting to do better for their community. And I feel like when you're doing better for your community, your business does better at the end of the day, because giving back does more. You have to give. It's just not a take. It's really a
absolutely.
give.
Yeah. There's a lot of different clubs out there, but I think networking, when you're networking with business owners and you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people.
But you have to understand that there is a difference between a networking club and a service club. Because we talk about Gold Star all the time, and Gold Star is strictly a networking club. Maybe we help each other a lot with inside the club, but we as a club do not go out and do any community service activities, do we?
No. We have in the past. We had a member that was working for a food bank. So for one Christmas, a lot of us donated money.
Okay.
And we gave to this food bank. It was off of Kerr Avenue. I don't remember what the food bank's name was, but David Rogers was working there at the time, and him and Mary set that up.
Yes, because Seroptimus, because we're a nonprofit, almost all of the money that we raise either goes to giving back to our community or scholarship programs for the high schoolers.
Okay. And that's good. I think a service club is great. I think businesses being a part of that, it's a great way to be involved in your community. And yeah, I mean, it is better to give than receive. And I think everybody knows that and goes by that law. So you're listening to the Small Business Voice on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. And we're here to interview small business owners and entrepreneurs and hear their stories. If you want to get in touch with us, go to smallbusinessvoicemedia@gmail.com. You can email us there, or you can call me directly, 209-896-6500. You can go to our social media, Small Business Voice Media on Instagram. It's got our contact information there. And you can visit Kayleigh at Legally Blonde of Marketing on Instagram, and her information is there. And message us there. And go to our website, smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. That is up and running. Today's guest is Victor Gomez of CALA, that is Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse. He can be reached at 831-245-6446, or go to their website, especially if you've been a victim, go to their website, www.cala.org. Now, wanted to introduce Victor. He is an executive director of California's Against Lawsuit Abuse, a grassroots movement of concerned citizens and small businesses who are fighting against lawsuit abuse in California. Victor is joining us today to talk about his organization's work on this important issue impacting small business owners across the state of California. Victor, we are so glad to have you on because I've heard a lot about this over the last couple of years, and it's nice to have an advocate for small businesses and just people that have been sued over things they shouldn't be really sued for, I guess the best way of putting it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on your show.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. So what is lawsuit abuse, and how does it impact small businesses?
Well, so I'm sure we all hear about it, right? You hear of these frivolous lawsuits, but you don't necessarily, you feel like you don't know the people directly or don't necessarily feel like you're impacted by these. But I'll give you a perfect example. Something that you see generally in the news quite a bit is ADA lawsuit abuse. Yeah. Right, where there are those frivolous attorneys out there that are essentially doing these drive-by lawsuits, right? They drive by a business, they notice that the parking space, ADA parking space, may not be the right color blue. They may have patronized your establishment and noticed that at your coffee shop, your urinal was an inch too low or an inch too high. Bam, there you go.
Wow,
by
really?
Lawsuit, they don't really care about whether you're going to fix the problem or not. They're just going to sue you. Whether you fix it or not, it's up to you. They don't really care. They just want your money. That's just one example, but we also deal with other issues kind of up and down the state when it comes to these frivolous lawsuits.
Yeah, I know we're called, like the nickname is like SUSA, but California I know is really big, in lawsuits.
I used to be an insurance agent for 4 years, and let me tell you, people will sue you for anything in this state.
Yeah, so, California has created the perfect climate for that, unfortunately, and even to that point, ADA lawsuits specifically, we're one of 50 states, yet we get half of the ADA lawsuits. Why? Because California, as you just shared, California just created this climate that's pretty much sue everybody climate, unfortunately.
I've seen memes online of people from Europe that come to the United States, and in Europe they don't have billboards for attorneys to sue for lawsuits, but then they come here and every 400 feet there's a big billboard on a block for an attorney that can help you.
Yeah. So you're listening to Victor Gomez from CALA, Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse. You can call him directly at 831-245-6446 or message him at www.cala.org. A lot of great information.
Typically here in California, attorneys spend millions of dollars every year in advertising. Really, that's how they make their money, right?
Yeah.
If, hey, just sue somebody, get some free money, you'll be totally fine. But the state also acts in the same way, right? The state doesn't do anything to fix the problem. And no surprise here, if you look at the reporting from these politicians in the state of California, including the governor, they're all taking money from these trial attorneys. So guess what? Yeah. When we go to the state and we say, hey, state, look out for us, look out for this locally owned business, look out for this coffee shop, so they don't get sued again, the politicians take a step back and they say, well, I don't know. I just got money from the trial attorney lobby, so maybe I shouldn't do this because then they're not going to fund my campaign next time. Again, all about money, unfortunately, and the politicians are also part of the problem.
Well, I definitely agree with you on that. But I'll try not to get too much into that. But I agree with you 100%. What are some examples, or if you have more examples, that you've seen of small businesses facing abusive lawsuits?
Yeah, a perfect example still falls under the ADA realm, and that's these website these opportunities for them just to drop by your website and look and see whether you are compliant, right? If I'm blind and I'm not able to access your website so I can hear what's happening on your website, that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's being abused as well, right? That's not really helping address the issue with the website and ADA compliance. just another opportunity to sue. The other issue we deal with in California is the Private Attorney General Act. So the PAGA, you probably hear about this on occasion, but it's really the sue your boss law, right? Where if somebody misspells your name on your pay stub, whether it's paper or electronic, whether they don't disclose your vacation accrual to that point, PAGA has created an opportunity for you to sue the company that you work for, essentially for something as simple, again, as not spelling your name correctly, right? And the Attorney General, hence the name, the Private Attorney General Act, essentially the Attorney General has said, hey, I'll deputize any of you trial attorneys. You guys could do the suing on my behalf.
Oh,
and
Justin and Mike would have to cash me out for how many times they say my name incorrectly or spell it correctly. So I'm coming for you, Justin and Mike. You hear that?
Well, in my defense, I have a daughter named Kayleigh. So.
I
know. so you're listening to Victor Gomez from CALA, Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse, on the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Kayleigh Gilbert on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. And he's here talking to us about how to protect ourselves from being sued unnecessarily. It's being abused, and it's huge right now. I'm really glad to have Victor. I'm really glad to have you on the show.
So, Victor,
thank you for the opportunity.
I wanted to ask, what are some examples that you have seen of businesses facing abusive lawsuits? And I want you to give me some crazy ones right now.
Well, there's a lot of abusive lawsuits that take place in California, but I'll give you one as a perfect example. I worked as chief of staff to a number of council members in San Jose, and specifically we had a coffee shop that was just adored by everybody that worked at City Hall, right? And we loved patronizing it, loved the ownership, the people that work there. And we literally had Scott Johnson, who is a well-known attorney throughout California that does these drive-by lawsuits. He literally was out there measuring the inclination of an ADA ramp. And the inclination of the ADA ramp was literally off by just percentage of the angle. That was enough to close down that coffee shop. That was enough for them to file a lawsuit and say, you know what, you're going to pay me. And the coffee shop really had no opportunity. They're a small mom and pop shop. They can't afford these $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 lawsuits. And they just said, you know what, forget it. We can't deal with it in California anymore. We're going to close our shop. Yeah. And they had to do that literally just because the incline level, the angle was not what was required. So instead of asking them to fix it, the attorney didn't want that. He actually didn't want them to fix the issue. Yeah. He wanted them not to fix it, pay them out, and then come back and see you again for the same violation if you didn't correct it, right? Yeah. We've asked the state to help us with this, right? To even give us a cure period. So in other words, before you file that lawsuit, give me 30, 60 days, give me a warning so I can, if you really, really care about the intent of ADA law, let's fix the issue, not just sue. They don't want a remedy. They want money in their pocket. And, yeah, unfortunately, that shop had to close down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's you just described California in a nutshell right there. It's all about the money, and it's not about fixing things.
This is just crazy to me. I don't even know what to say. Can you tell us what your organization is advocating for in Sacramento and how they're trying to help solve this issue?
So this year, I'm excited that this year we actually have a bill that's navigating through the Senate. We're in Sacramento. We're hoping that this bill continues forward. But essentially what it would do is it would create an opportunity for folks to fix any ADA-related issue before you're sued for it. So in other words, a curing period that would give them the opportunity to say, hey, look, there's a problem. Let's try to find a solution. And in many cases, cities and even the state government provide grants to small business owners to be able to fix the issues. But when you're operating, look, I spent 17 years as a pizza franchisee, as a franchise owner for multiple pizza restaurants. And I'll tell you right now, you're so busy operating your location you're not up to date on the 3,000 to 4,000 laws that are passed annually in Sacramento, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to create excuses here, but look, as small business owners, we're busy. There's a lot of things happening. We're just trying to turn a dollar here and make some money, if we even make money, right? But all we're asking for is say, hey, state, help us, give us some time to fix these issues. We're not up on every single law that is passed annually. Give us an opportunity to come into compliance before you could sue us, right? Now, that bill's moving forward, so that's something that we do. We support these pieces of legislation. We work with those that have been impacted, that are victims of these lawsuits, and they share their stories in Sacramento. We do a lot of that because we think it's important. We think it's important for the senators and assembly members, the governor, the attorney general, to know what your lack of effort is impacting these businesses. That's why so many businesses are leaving California, because you're not there to support them.
Well, I don't blame them for leaving either, unfortunately. I mean, it's just we see it all the time, when we hear about it all the time, just people leaving in droves, especially businesses.
In Oakdale, so many people are moving. Just the last 2 years, so many business owners and different people have been moving to Florida, Idaho, and Texas, and it's because they can do their business better in those states. And after hearing him explain to us that a coffee shop that was a small mom and pop shop just got sued and put out of business and I do get, when you have a disability, you do want to be able to go in to other functioning places. But if the ramp was functioning and no one had complained about it, that's just sad to hear for the small businesses.
Very sad to hear.
Yeah. And what made it worse about that situation is that individual that sued never even patronized the coffee shop.
Oh, geez.
They literally did not even have to walk into the coffee shop. All they had to do was just stand outside in the parking lot, do a couple of measurements, and leave.
Yeah.
How can other concerned residents and small business owners and other city council members like myself sign up to help you in your efforts?
I would encourage folks to visit our website. As Justin mentioned in the beginning, you could visit Kayleigh.com, CALA.com, or you could visit us specifically if you're a California business and you want to get involved in California-related issues, because we do a lot of this work nationwide, but specifically because California is the worst state in these frivolous lawsuits. I encourage you to visit California Kayleigh, so CaliforniaCALA.org. Visit us at that website. Drop me a line. You could contact me through the website and let us know that you want to get involved. It could be anything from either just sharing a story, being listed as an advocate for us. All of those things matter. Those are very, very important. We're a small grassroots organization. It's only myself and another representative from my organization. We're a nonprofit. Again, we're just here to try to help these folks expose these trial attorneys for the frivolous work that they're doing, because essentially they're predatory attorneys.
And are you guys on Facebook or Instagram so Gen Z can give you a follow?
Yeah, you could find us there. Just look up California Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse, and you will find us.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm writing that down right now. Victor, I want to thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate having you on.
Thank you both. I really appreciate your time.
So that was Victor Gomez from Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse. You can call him directly at 831-245-6446 or message him at www.cala.org. A lot of great information, and it's great to know that we have an advocate for us.
I'm just scared.
Yeah, you and me both. So you're listening to Justin Duncan and Kayleigh Gilbert on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Stay with us.
Hammer and a nail, stacking them bales. I'm dog tired by the 5 o'clock hour, but I'm ready to raise some hell.
CISPRO Innovation, where we help local businesses connect with local families. For more information, check out our blog at CISPROinnovation.com. That's CISPRO, SISBRO, innovation.com.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Kayleigh Gilbert on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Our guest today is Congressman John Duarte. Congressman John Dorsey's segment is brought to you by I.J. Larson Pumps. I.J. Larson Pumps specializes in the installation and repair of residential, commercial, and agricultural water pumps. If this is a service you need, call I.J. Larson Pumps at 209-529-2020 or 209-634-7276. By the way, John, they are big fans of yours over there, and they love you. Basically, that's all I can say.
Well, we've got the humble family, and we've got the humble family and the I.J. Larson Pump people out to several of our properties in the last couple of weeks. So they're a great firm. So I don't know how much I can shout them out, but
yeah,
we use them ourselves.
Nice. So I had some water questions for you. One of them was San Luis Reservoir. I hear they're going to let all the water out, which I just went by it the other day, and it's at full capacity. And I think it's a shame that they're going to let all the water out to repair the dam. Is that true?
I haven't heard that, but it could well be true.
Okay, so that might just be a rumor.
I don't know what time. I don't know that. I've no way we've imagined that they would fill it and then let all the water out. But I don't know. Let me just leave it there.
Okay. I heard you on the Steve Hilton podcast, and you guys, or actually I heard you say that we haven't built a dam in California in over 40 years. And how has that impacted everybody?
Oh, it's impacted everybody, and that's the key word, is it impacts everybody, our lack of water infrastructure in California. Every homeowner, every renter is paying at least $1,000 a month more in rent or mortgage because we don't increase our water supply. If you want to build new homes to meet demand, you have to prove that you've got a 50-year supply of water. When we have water scarcity throughout California, when we could easily have abundance of water, we have housing scarcity throughout California that drives the prices straight through the roof. So everyone looking at their rent each month and saying, geez, why did it go up $1,000 in the last 3 or 4 years? It's water scarcity.
Oh, wow.
We're not building the homes because we're not putting in the water infrastructure, and it's causing a statewide housing shortage. Every renter, every homeowner should be pissed off right now.
Yeah, well, we're in California. I think everybody is.
It's a mess.
So how are you going to specially help the Valley agriculturalists?
Well, first of all, we need more water infrastructure, but that's a long-term proposal. One is I don't know if you've heard me in a number of the hearings here in D.C., but we are taking on, I call them the lords of scarcity, these idiot bureaucrats that flush our water out to the ocean year after year, pretending they're trying to save salmon, pretending they're going to restore the Delta smelt. They've done neither in decades, but they keep flushing our water out to the ocean, destroying farmlands, destroying our aquifers, destroying the rural economies, destroying hundreds of thousands of acres of irrigated habitat and landscapes throughout California. So all of this water flushing out to the ocean for failed single-species restoration projects like the Delta smelt and the salmon actually destroy habitat for other species that we can viably improve. Irrigated landscapes are habitat for so much biodiversity, and they grow the rural economies. They make food affordable. They help cities like Mendota and Kerman and Firebaugh have a property tax base so they can get their streets repaired. They help cities like Livingston and Delhi that have water supply problems, need to put in new water treatment plants and new sewage plants, can't even think about how they're going to pay for it, actually have the tax base they need to pay for it. So when we're flushing this water out to the ocean, like you said, it's hurting everybody. It's absolutely hurting everybody. And the shame of it is that a lot of it's management. We can make different decisions year to year. We can flush less water out to the ocean year to year. We can coordinate to get that water to farms and to cities better when there's abundance, but we don't do it. And I'm starting to call these guys the lords of scarcity.
Yeah,
it's like they're anti-human. They believe the population bomb is going to just be the worst thing ever in the world, when the truth is thriving economies, well-populated with population growth and opportunity, solve problems and create abundance, and we don't run out of resources. And so we've got to have our communities thrive and we will take care of ourselves and take care of the planet just fine. These lords of scarcity, we need to be the champions of abundance. We need to be unabashed to say we need energy abundance. We need water on the farms. We need to log our forests and sustainably manage them so they don't go up in flames. We need to use our resources wisely, and then we can build a thriving, equitable economy on top of that. And we're not doing it, and we need to take it to the mat. And that's one reason I ran for Congress. I want to fight for the working families in this district.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it because we need somebody fighting for us. You're listening to John Duarte. He's a congressman. He's also a small business owner here in California. He owns Duarte Nursery, and he understands the biggest challenges and experiences while running a daily nursery. I just wanted to mention that, John. You get it. You're one of us.
We see it, and whether you're in housing or nursery or agriculture, inflation and high interest rates, it hurts very, very badly. When you have high interest rates, the dollar gets strong, we export less of our agricultural crops. When you have high interest rates, the cost to develop, there's fewer almond orchards going in to buy almond trees from me, same as pistachios and wine grape vineyards. You see inflation on your fertilizers and your chemicals and all your inputs. In my business, if you're a home builder, you're seeing inflation on your lumber, on your paints, on your plastics, on everything you use to build a home. Mm-hmm. But you can't get that back from your customer at the end of the day because you're in a global marketplace. And because of the crashing economy we've got now, thanks to the Gavin Newsom, Joe Biden agendas, nobody's got any money. I mean, workers aren't getting raises to keep pace with inflation. Farmers aren't getting paid prices that are sustainable given the inflationary pressures. Housing prices are dropping because the interest rates are high and the home mortgages are higher. And so the payments go up because of high interest rates. Home builders can't make a nickel on what they're doing. All the things that drive our economy are really, kicked in the gut by the high inflation, high interest rates environment we're in. And it was all avoidable.
So talking about inflation, is there any relief in sight when it comes to inflation?
Well, I think the recent debt ceiling negotiations where Kevin McCarthy and it was able to work with Joe Biden and get a bipartisan deal. Democrats and Republicans both voted for the debt ceiling budget framework that was put out. But that really doesn't slow the government spending enough. Yeah. And almost more importantly, it doesn't get us drilling American oil. We have so much American oil and so much American gas underground here in America. And it's really the precursor to everything we manufacture. It's a precursor to our entire energy grid system. If you want the economy to thrive, make everybody more productive and import less and produce more to control inflation, we've got to have our domestic energy systems back on their feet. And we didn't get that done. We need to do it in the next couple of years. As soon as we can get the political control we need to be drilling American oil right now. Just like we need to be getting water on the farms, we need to drill American oil. Yeah. Those are the things that are going to fight inflation.
I agree with you 100%. We can go into a whole big thing about that because I know West Virginia is going to restart their pipeline. I think that's a good thing. The one thing I was going to ask you is I know the Republicans were kind of divided on this agreement, but you voted for it. Are you happy with this new agreement involving the debt ceiling?
I think, given the cards, the voters gave us a thin majority in one of two houses of Congress and a Democratic president. That's what the American voters gave us under the constitutional government we have. With a thin majority in one house, Kevin McCarthy was able to set up and drive the whole deal, drive the whole negotiation. And actually, it was an accomplishment on his part to even bring the Democrats to the table and get a spending plan that cut government. For the first time ever, I think, our government will spend less money next year than it did this year. Now, we still weren't able to but to look at Medicare, look at Social Security. We still need a bipartisan group to get together and make the hard choices there and really decide how we keep Social Security and Medicare solvent after 2030. The next president, if we get a new president in 2024, under that president's watch, if it's a new president, not Trump or Biden, within 8 years, under that one president's service, you could have both Social Security and Medicare go bankrupt, insolvent, which will be a mandatory cut of about 30% of the benefits across the board. If we don't step up, work together in a bipartisan way, and address those issues now. So not everything was solved in this debt negotiation, but we proved that we could bring the president to the table, bring all parties to the table, and make a deal that actually cut government spending. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't want to cut military. We can't afford to cut defense right now. We've got too many geopolitical threats out there. And so we were able to maintain defense and cut some of the domestic programs even more than defense was limited. So that was a lot of accomplishment. So I give Kevin McCarthy kudos on that. We can always talk more about what we'd have done if we had more power, but it's our job to go to the American voters and get more power.
Yeah. I agree. I think you have to compromise. Not everybody gets what they want, but at least there's a deal done, and we were able to avoid not paying our bills. So I think that was a good thing myself.
Yeah. I think the adults in the room won on that one.
Yeah. So what advice would you give a small business owner who are faced with the fragmented job market from the flood of migrants to California and the United States?
Well, the small business owner right now needs to look hard at what their sales are and structure their business to what the sales realities are. I'm doing that at the nursery right now with my family.
Yeah.
My brother Jeff and my wife Alexander are busy running the company, and we're making adjustments to the nursery because we're just simply not seeing the marketplace the way it was 2 years ago. And I think every small business owner, the sooner they can get on and structure their business to the current realities, the more likely we are to get through. And one thing I hate to see in these recessions or these highly inflationary environments also is the loss of family business. I really hope small businesses are realizing that they can make some hard decisions now, or they won't be making any decisions later. And so see it for what it is.
Yeah.
We're going, we have a government that wants to keep spending. So they're doing what I call a supply side recession or demand side recession. They're cutting off demand by crushing the American economy. They're crushing the American economy with high interest rates and, an economy that can't support wages that go up to match those high interest rates and inflation. And so they're literally deliberately crushing the American consumer. The working family is being squeezed to crash the economy. I don't understand this president as doing anything different.
Yeah.
That is what they're doing. If we wanted to grow the economy and fight inflation, we'd have supply side solutions like drilling American oil, getting water on the farms, being friendly to business and making America the best place to grow a business. We're not choosing to do that. We're doing the opposite. Green energy fantasies, subsidies for windmills, which can't build a pipeline or drill oil. These are all things that come down on the backs of working families.
I heard you're not going to be vacationing in Russia anytime soon. Why did Vladimir Putin put a ban particularly on you?
I don't know, but I'm happy to be on the Russian banned list. If I can run on the fact that Vladimir Putin doesn't like me, finds me a geopolitical threat, I got to be doing something right.
Yeah, I agree.
He doesn't like American farmers. I don't know. But I am flattered, and I hope Vladimir stays. I hope to stay on the wrong side of Vladimir Putin for quite a while longer.
Well, hey, John, I just want to thank you for making the time, and hopefully we have you on again really soon.
Well, thank you, Justin, and thank you to the Larson Pump people, too. I really appreciate their sponsorship, and good talking to you.
All right. Thank you, John. So that was Congressman John Duarte. Congressman John Duarte's segment is brought to you by I.J. Larson Pumps. I.J. Larson Pumps specializes in the installation and repair of residential, commercial, and agricultural water pumps. If this is a service you need, call I.J. Larson Pumps at 209-529-2020 or 209-634-7276. Thank you for listening to the Small Business Voice. We'll be back right after these words.
This business tip is brought to you by Cispro Innovation. I'm Catherine Ramos, and today we're talking about establishing a strong online presence. Even if your business is local, having a strong online presence is crucial. It allows potential customers to find you easily, to learn about your product and services, and even to shop or make bookings online. Make sure your website is user-friendly, mobile-friendly, and optimized for search engines. Consider investing in local SEO to rank higher in local search results. CISPRO Innovation, where we help local businesses connect with local families. For more information on this tip, check out our blog at CISPROinnovation.com. That's CISPRO, SISBRO, innovation.com.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Kayleigh Gilbert on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. And we're here to interview small business owners and entrepreneurs and hear their stories. If you want to get in touch with us, go to smallbusinessvoicemedia@gmail.com. You can email us there, or you can call me directly, 209-896-6500. You can go to our social media, Small Business Voice Media on Instagram. It's got our contact information there. And you can visit Kayleigh at Legally Blonde of Marketing on Instagram, and her information is there. And message us there, and go to our website, smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. That is up and running. I'm here with Kayleigh Gilbert. She is the owner of Legally Blonde Marketing. Before we get to our community corner, if you are a business or an entrepreneur that wants to come on our show and tell your story, go visit our website, smallbusinessvoicemedia.com, and check it out. We have a lot of interesting things going on there.
So being on city council every month, I believe her name is Yvonne. She comes to the council meetings and tells us all the events going on for the Friends of the Oakdale Library, but she also gives us the full list for the entire Stanislaus County. And
nice.
There are a lot of summer reading programs and a lot of fun Lego activities and arts and crafts activities that are completely free at your public library. And she always says to remember that the 1 cent from your tax dollar that goes to supporting your public library. So if you have your kids at home and you're going crazy because you're like, what the heck do I do with these kids? They've been at school for 6 hours the last 118 days. Take them to the library.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun things to do there. I actually used to take my son to the library during the summertime, and my son was not the best student, but I want to say he probably had a photographic memory because he could tell you what he read. And I could read the same sentence 3 times and still couldn't tell you what it was about. You know, so sometimes people can comprehend better than others. My son was very good at comprehending, and he liked a lot of the action books, fiction. You know, he was into that. And he had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, and you're lucky. The Modesto Library is way bigger than the Oakdale Library, too.
Yes, it is.
And then on October 21st, Oakdale's going to have the Fall Festival. I don't know if our listeners know this, but the Chocolate Festival was canceled this year. In January, we had a new CEO, and then my bestie, Bree, who was working at the chamber, when she started working there, the CEO quit, and she had only been working there for 2 months. So for her to plan the Chocolate Festival alone without the CEO who came on in March was just too much. So we're having this big fall festival, and they're accepting vendor applications right now.
Oh, nice. Do we have a link for them to go to? Is there?
Yeah, the vendor applications are located on the Oakdale Chamber of Commerce website.
Okay.
And then you can also go to the Oakdale Chamber as well in Oakdale. And then you can go on their Facebook or the Instagram, and all the info's on there. And also, another save the date and to look out for tickets on all those same platforms as well is the Chamber is hosting their first ever casino night, and I'm really excited for that one. That
sounds like fun. Where's that going to be at?
That is all to be announced.
Okay.
They just want everyone to know that there's going to be a casino night and to save the date, and we want to see you there.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
And every Friday there is a concert in the park in Oakdale at Dorada Park, and it's next to the community pool, and I believe they start at 6:30 every Friday, and it's a family-friendly event.
Nice. And then afterwards, we can all go to the Crooked Spur, right?
Yeah. And have their frozen margaritas.
So you're listening to Justin Duncan and Kayleigh Gilbert on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. If you are a small business owner and entrepreneur, contact us. Go to smallbusinessvoicemedia@gmail.com. You can email us there. Or you can call me directly, 209-896-6500. You can go to our social media, Small Business Voice Media on Instagram. It's got our contact information there. And you can visit Kayleigh at Legally Blonde of Marketing on Instagram and message us there. And go to our website, smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. And you can go to the Modesto Chamber of Commerce website. Theirs is modchamber.org, and you can find events on there. What's the Oakdale Chambers? Is it oakdalechamber.org?
I believe it's oakdalechamberofcommerce.com.
Oh, that's a long one. The one thing that really impresses me about the mayor of Oakdale is she's very involved.
Her dad listens to us, by the way.
Oh, really?
Cher told me that her dad heard us when he was on the tractor out in the field.
Oh, okay. Well, so the first time I saw Cher, so I saw her the first time and then I met her a separate time. But the first time I saw her was at a grand opening, and she was on a horse.
Oh, yeah. You came for the grand opening of our downtown.
Yeah, that's right.
I got so scared, Justin. I thought that we were all the council members were going to have to get on a horse. And I was like, why did no one email me? I was in heels.
Yeah, I remember.
I was like in 3-inch heels. I could get on that horse, but I would like a fair warning so I could wear my cowgirl boots.
Well, and then the other time I was, I just joined the Oakdale Chamber, and she was there to induct me, so that was really cool too. I'm just impressed how involved she is in the community.
But that's what every mayor should strive to be.
Oh, I agree, but I don't think every mayor does.
No,
but Cher does.
She does.
So my hat goes off to Cher. I'm not going to talk bad about anybody. I'm not going to talk good about the people I can. And I can talk good about Cher. You know, I met her one time. And this
you
is
met
just
her twice.
Well, I saw her the first time, met her the second time. And just from what I observed and meeting her, very outgoing, very involved. I tip my cowboy hat to Cher.
You don't even own a cowboy hat, probably,
yeah,
Justin.
I don't. But I do have some baseball hats.
Oh, you got plenty of those.
Yeah, I don't really wear hats anymore, but that's another story.
You have all your hair still at your age. I wouldn't be wearing a hat either.
Most of my hair, yeah. I'm missing a little bit on top. But.
Key phrase, most.
Well, you know, the thing about getting older is you start to lose it up here, and then you start growing in other places like your ears, and it's a mess as you get older.
I don't think that happens to older women.
No.
No.
Okay.
We age like fine wine.
Okay, I'll go with that.
George Clooney doesn't have hair growing out his ears.
Well, he probably has it trimmed, so.
Oh.
I'm just, 47. I've noticed these things so.
He's noticed them. He has noticed them.
Yeah, I've noticed them, yeah. You're listening to the Small Business Voice on Power Talk 1360 KFIV, and we're here to interview small business owners and entrepreneurs and hear their stories. If you want to get in touch with us, go to smallbusinessvoicemedia@gmail.com. You can email us there. Or you can call me directly, 209-896-6500.
You need to come on our show because we're going to blast you out to not only the older generations, but the younger generations, because we have a very big group of audience.
Well, and I like hearing people talk, and I'd rather see them in person. And I always felt like as you're driving down the freeways when you're going north or south of 99, you see lawyers on billboards.
Drake. He's on.
Yeah,
I've
Drake.
been looking at all of his billboards. He has quite a few.
Yeah.
When I was driving to Fresno, I saw one too.
Yeah, he does. Ann Fong is another one I see. But anyway, you don't really get to know them, and that's why I encourage people to come on our show. Is people can hear your voice. They're just not reading something on a billboard.
It's funny because Vicky Humble, she joined Gold Star, and I always saw the I.J. Larson pump sign driving into Oakdale, but I never knew the owner. And one day at Gold Star, she showed me her card, and I recognized the logo from that sign on 108.
Well, it goes to show that advertising does work because we're talking about it. You know?
Yeah, we are.
I just want to encourage entrepreneurs and small business owners, come on our show because that way you can get that personal connection with our audience. They can learn about you. They can learn about your knowledge. I think anybody can have a billboard, but until they hear you talk and they hear your experience, that's when they really get to know you.
Yes, they have to know, like, and trust you.
Exactly, and that's what we're about, building that relationship. So on that note, thank you for listening to us. What wisdom do you have to share? Be sure to leave a comment on our Instagram, Small Business Voice Media, and go to Kayleigh's Legally Blonde Marketing on Instagram. All our contact information is there. Go to our website, smallbusinessvoicemedia.com, or you can call me directly, 209-896-6500. Thank you, Kayleigh. Now, let's take care of business.
You like the way that sounds?